Hi everyone, this is Miss Asma, the school librarian, and today I'm really happy to put in your hands books containing Moroccan figures and share with you some personalities and events and historical facts of Moroccan activists full of heroic struggles against the French and Spanish protectorate. So as you see here, we have three figures in the screen, and these three figures are all Moroccan fighters who stood up in a way or another against the French and Spanish colonialism. Let's start with the first one, Mohammed Zarqtoni. Mohammed Zarqtoni, he is of course Moroccan, born in Casablanca in 1927. And Zarqtoni, he chose his companions very carefully, and he used to change his place and his residence very often to avoid being caught by the French army. So he established a cell in secret with his friends, and they all vowed to work in order to expel the colonizer who no longer cares about the Sultan Mohammed V or about the citizens in Casablanca or in Morocco in general. So what happened in 1947, the colonial soldiers, who are the French soldiers, abused and murdered the neighborhoods in Casablanca. And they prevented even the Sultan Mohammed V from heading to Tangier on a historic trip. So the Zaktonia and his friends, we see them here in a coffee shop probably, they really decided to teach the colonial a lesson. So they carried out an operation which is called by the Operation Marché Central, and they put bombs in the market in downtown Casablanca called Marché Central, and they also put bombs in the post office in over here next to the Marché Central or Marché Central market, and they bombed the market. Of course, there were injuries and there were deaths and people who were injured, and this really frightened the French who were living in Casablanca. So after that, a few days after that, the French protectorate forced the Sultan and the royal family into exile. So the national resistance in Casablanca decided to begin or continue their armed struggles against the French armies. So in 1953, again, what happened? The fighters targeted the railway line linking Casablanca to Tangier to Algiers. I'm sorry, and they put bombs on the train, and they also killed and injured several French soldiers, and this really felt again scared the French or colonizer, and many French citizens flee Morocco completely. We can also say that Hamid Zakhtari didn't only work in Casablanca, but also extended his activities to Fez and Marrakesh and other cities in Casablanca. Unfortunately, some of his friends fell into the hands of the colonizer, who abused them and tortured them, as you see in the picture here. But Zakhtari was very smart, and he was a thinker, the investigator, the executor, and he wasn't caught very easily by French armies. But when the police caught him, he took a poison pill and died in the police car, by the way, before even getting into the investigation by the French armies. So our next activist, our next fighter is Ahmed Hansali. Ahmed al-Hansali is also Moroccan, of course, Moroccan resistance fighter who sacrificed himself for the independence of Morocco. And he was born in Azilal. He was working as an aide to a French ranger in a region near Bni Mellal. So after exile by the colonial authorities of King Mohammed V in 1953, Al-Hansari decided to avenge his sultan by carrying out individual actions against the French military. So unlike Zakhtoni, who was working with his companion and friends, Al-Hansari, he was working by himself. He took his own personal decisions without political union or any other influence. He equipped himself with the ammunition of his boss and took refuge in caves difficult to access in Bilouidan. And he targeted the military convoys and caused great human damages to them, as we see here. So he's working by himself, targeting the French armies and soldiers. So what happens then? The French authorities thought they were dealing with an equipped gang, not only with one person, because he was very discreet and very far from any suspicion. So they could not track him down at all. Unfortunately, there was a traitor. It was a Moroccan sheikh, because the French authorities were giving a ransom to anyone who can point them to Ahmed al-Hansali. So the sheikh reported him to the authorities when he saw Ahmed al-Hansali getting ammunition from the city, and he was arrested in 1951, and he was executed in 24 hours after that. So, but his name, Ahmed al-Hansali's name, was engraved in the memory of Moroccans until now. By the way, there is a barrage called by his name, and there is also a boulevard or a large street in Casablanca called Mohammed al-Hansali until now. Now we see our third activist. She is a woman, of course. Yes, she's a woman, and she lives in the reef, in the mountains. And here we can investigate the role of women in Morocco. There were some organizations led by another fighter called Abdelkarim al-Khattabi. He was also a very famous activist. And al-Khattabi extended his activities to women as well, involving them in new tasks and new ways of fighting and supporting the Moroccan fighters. So women here, they were activated. They were very active in supporting and helping the resistance against the French and Spanish armies. And we see here Aisha here, who were cheering and supporting, holding the Moroccan flag, even though we have in Morocco the French army targeting her. So she was a very strong woman in her way, supporting and encouraging the French authorities. But eventually, she died as well in the reef. And finally, we see Mohammed V, King Mohammed V, who returned from Madagascar, returned from exile, and in 1955, and this is when the independence of Morocco was gained, thanks to many activists and many fighters who stood up against the French colonialism and Spanish colonialism in Morocco. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would like to learn more about these events, you can still check out those books from the library and read about the activists that are that thanks to them Morocco gained its independence. Thank you for watching.